At one particular time, I did talk about. I did say Terence Crawford.
you beat a nobody, so why would I even waste my time on?
I know exactly what he was feeling and thinking. It's called frustration. You know, when you're facing a Floyd, he got frustrated.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. recently responded to Terence Crawford after footage of their training session was made public. According to Floyd, the purpose of sharing the video was simply to highlight two top-tier fighters sharing the ring, not to spark controversy. However, he's not thrilled about the growing narrative that he might be envious of Crawford. Adding fuel to the fire, Crawford has mentioned in several interviews that he believes he could knock Floyd out. Mayweather, however, feels Crawford might be getting carried away following a major victory, a win that, in Floyd's view, would have been a routine fight for him.
Like a lot of things that he was saying, you know, and how he was acting, being that, you know, me, I'm a real individual. I just felt like, you know, we was all cool at one point in time.
Mayweather made it clear that he respects what Crawford has achieved in the sport, but he doesn't believe that automatically places them in the same category, particularly when it comes to legacy and the full scope of a boxing career. According to Floyd, one impressive victory isn't enough to justify putting down other fighters. He also emphasized that the training footage wasn't intended to belittle Crawford or reclaim the spotlight. Rather, it was a subtle reminder of the elite skills that kept him undefeated throughout his career. Still, the video has taken on a life of its own online, with many fans now claiming it proves Mayweather was on a completely different level than Crawford.
You know, hard is working, and the only other guy that I've seen that worked as much as Crawford was Floyd Mayweather. So not only is he talented, but he works like he got $2 in his bank account. He works like he ain't never accomplished anything in his life.
On his end, Crawford remains highly confident, especially after his dominant win over Canelo. He's openly claimed not only that he could defeat Mayweather today, but that even a prime Floyd would struggle against him. That kind of talk hasn't sat well with Mayweather, who believes it's premature to place Crawford in the same league. Floyd was quick to highlight his flawless 50-0 record, earned against some of the biggest names in boxing history, including Manny Pacquiao, Oscar de la Hoya, Canelo Alvarez, Shane Mosley, and Miguel Cotto. While he acknowledges Crawford's skill, Mayweather argues that Bud hasn't yet put together a resume that matches his own. Even though Crawford made history by becoming the first fighter to unify titles in 3 different weight classes,
Floyd believes legacy goes beyond just records.
What he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that, but in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter, though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But, like, his core personality and his ways.
Bernard Hopkins has now weighed in on the debate, offering his perspective on the growing comparisons between Mayweather and Crawford. In an interview with ESPN, Hopkins stated that he doesn't see these comparisons as fair, or even necessary. He emphasized that each fighter belongs to a different era, with Crawford proving himself as the standout of his time, while Mayweather already secured his place in boxing history. Hopkins added that constantly comparing the two can come off as dismissive of what's happening in the sport right now. He pointed out that boxing evolves through distinct generations for a reason, and it's wrong to diminish one fighter's accomplishments just to elevate another. According to Hopkins, Crawford is currently in his prime, and fans should celebrate that success, just as they did when Mayweather was at the top of the game.
Crawford. Believe Crawford, even though, fought twice, throughout the year, Crawford, was... But look who he beat. Undisputed. Look who he beat. Look who he beat.
I agree. Comparing the two doesn't make much sense. It feels like people are trying to take away from Crawford's moment by dragging in another era that's already been solidified. Mayweather had his time and proved he was the best of his generation. Now some are reaching, trying to force comparisons across different timelines just to decide who's greater. But that's really just a debate about preference, not substance. Just like weight classes exist for a reason, so do eras. The previous era had its king, and in this one, Crawford has clearly established himself at the top.
Got Manny Pacquiao top 5. You should know that reason. Manny's a generational, talented fighter, but I don't feel like he did it on his own. When Floyd made it a point for him to do the blood test, he didn't want to do the blood test. But then when he did do the blood test, he haven't got a knockout since.
God
badly, and that breaks my heart.
He was aging though.
One thing for certain, two things for sure. What's the last thing that leave you? Is the power. You may lose speed, you may lose athleticism, but that power gonna still be there.
Hopkins isn't the only voice in boxing weighing in. Shane Mosley also spoke up, stating that Crawford deserves to be recognized as the current pound-for-pound king, even ahead of Mayweather. However, that opinion isn't universally accepted. Critics argue that Floyd competed in a far deeper talent pool, dominated multiple weight classes, and remained undefeated for over 20 years. That said, Crawford's achievements speak for themselves. Becoming undisputed champion at 140, 147, and now 168 pounds is unprecedented. The way he's handled top-tier opponents with such ease has only added to his mystique. At this point, the conversation has shifted into a timeless debate, one that may never reach a definitive conclusion, simply because both fighters represent different eras of greatness.
Who you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all the way.
Beyond the ongoing Mayweather versus Crawford debate, another major topic gaining momentum is the possible return of Mike Tyson to the ring, and what that could mean for both Mayweather and Crawford. Now 59, Tyson has once again been rumored to be preparing for a comeback, raising serious concerns from medical professionals. Nathan Howarth of the Concussion Legacy Foundation spoke in a recent interview, warning about the potential dangers of boxing at such an advanced age. He emphasized that chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, a brain condition caused by repeated head injuries, has been linked to boxing since the 1930s. According to Howarth, the risks increase significantly as fighters get older, with even minor blows potentially having major consequences. Although Tyson appears to be training intensely, the health implications are hard to overlook. Howarth even brought up Floyd Mayweather, now nearing 50, as another veteran of the sport who could face similar long-term health risks if he continues to engage in sparring or exhibition matches.
Looking back at like Floyd's career, like him coming up in the era that he came up in, he had all them champions that he was able to fight, and that's what led him to be so great. You know, because he fought the most champions, beat the most champions, you know, got the most money for beating the most champions.
These concerns reflect a growing unease in the boxing world about aging fighters stepping back into the ring, whether for exhibitions or full-on competitive bouts. While Tyson remains a legendary figure in the sport, experts caution that the cumulative toll boxing takes on the body can't be ignored, and one more high-impact fight could potentially lead to lasting damage. Mayweather, for his part, has largely stuck to lower-risk exhibition matches, often facing influencers or retired MMA fighters instead of active professional boxers. While this is generally seen as a safer route, it still raises valid questions about the health risks involved, especially as he approaches 50. If the rumored fight between Mayweather and Tyson ends up being scrapped, there's already speculation that someone like Crawford could step in for a major event. Still, boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. recently said he believes Crawford has nothing left to prove, and could walk away now, especially after that dominant performance against Canelo.
I just witnessed a GOAT debate get destroyed in real time, and a new one be born. Canelo was supposed to come in here and dominate Crawford to show us that he really is the GOAT, someone that belongs on the Mount Rushmore. But Crawford came in and made it look like it was no problem to handle him. Crawford was bobbing and weaving and landed 10-hit combos. I'm watching the fight and Crawford is talking to him, he's laughing in the ring, he's shaking his head, nope.
However, Jones also mentioned that if Crawford decides to continue fighting, there's one opponent he should consider targeting. In a recent interview with Downplay, Jones proposed UFC champion Ilia Topuria as a potential crossover matchup. While it's not common for a boxing legend to suggest a fight against an MMA fighter, Jones presented it as a special, high-profile opportunity for Crawford, a grand finale to cap off his career. He pointed out that Crawford had to wait a long time to receive the recognition he deserved, and now that he's finally in the spotlight, he should aim for one last major, attention-grabbing bout.
Who's the best boxer, in your opinion, right now?
European.
No, world. Best fighter in the world, yeah.
I think it's Terence Crawford.
Many believe it's you. Many believe you're the best fighter.
Oh, no, I'm not the best fighter of the world. It's Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford, #1, yeah?
Jones also reflected on his own career, noting that if he had chosen to retire sooner after some of his biggest victories, the way people talk about his legacy might be different today. He feels that Crawford should be careful not to prolong his career unnecessarily and focus instead on securing one final, unforgettable fight before stepping away. While Crawford hasn't officially announced his plans at 37 years old, it's clear that the twilight of his boxing journey is drawing near.
Everybody beat Mayweather. I know, bro, and like even Mayweather undefeated though. He's never been undisputed.
After defeating Canelo Alvarez for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world, is Terence Bud Crawford now the GOAT?
Right. You feel me? Right. And if this man can win undisputed for the 3rd time, bro, I'm giving him the GOAT. I don't care who you is. In the 4-belt era, he the GOAT.
Oscar de la Hoya also shared his thoughts on the topic. In an interview with the Daily Mail, he was asked who, at their peak, could defeat Crawford. Without hesitation, De La Hoya named Manny Pacquiao, stating that Pacquiao's speed, power, and explosiveness during his prime would be too much for Crawford to handle. Pacquiao was widely regarded as the best boxer globally for a significant period, capturing titles across 8 different weight classes and overcoming top contenders from multiple generations. According to De La Hoya, if a prime Pacquiao had faced Crawford, the fight wouldn't have gone the distance. It would have ended with a stoppage.
I have to disagree because Floyd Mayweather toyed with Canelo. Like, he literally toyed with him. He didn't get hit at all. Not one time. And Crawford, yeah, he's more of a fighter, boxer. Mayweather's more of a boxer. But I have...
This perspective brings a fresh viewpoint to the discussion since Pacquiao, much like Mayweather, competed during a golden era of boxing packed with outstanding fighters. Pacquiao faced and defeated notable champions such as Eric Morales, Marco Antonio Barrera, Juan Manuel Marquez, Miguel Cotto, Ricky Hatton, among others. His matchups against Mayweather and Marquez remain iconic highlights of the 2000s. Although Crawford has also triumphed over top contenders in his era, De La Hoya believes that Pacquiao's combination of competition level and fighting style would have posed a serious challenge. What do you think? Would you like to see Crawford take on Mayweather in the near future? Drop your opinions in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates.